Hello, my friends, and happy Friday! Today is Friday, April the 30th, and this is the 43rd edition of Book Fun Friday. As always, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. So, this isn't going to be real surprising to a lot of you because you know me really well, but I have I have a real soft spot, a real tender heart for people who are going through some struggles, who are having a hard time, who are really sad for whatever reason, especially when they're going through the experiences that they're having out of absolutely no fault of their own. Just something really bad happened and they're having a really hard time. That that really hurts my heart and really touches me when I come across that kind of story. Well, the main character in the book I'm going to talk about today is experiencing such a thing. The title of that book is THUD, and it's written by the author Mikael. Now, there's a backstory to this book. There's a village, an actual village in Germany. It's named Nukaroda. And this village is populated almost exclusively by people who have developmental disabilities. And the author spent about 2 years visiting this village, Nukaroda, and talking to the residents and getting their stories and learning about their work. You know, they run the restaurant, the supermarket, the bar there. And out of the experience, out of talking to all of these people, the author then created this story. And so let me tell you a little bit about this. The main character of this book is a young man named Noel. And Noel is 22. In fact, when the book opens, he is celebrating his 22nd birthday. Well, Noel lives in an apartment with his mom, his mumsy, in Berlin, and Noel has developmental disabilities. Well, I said the story opens with his birthday celebration. Noel's favorite treat in the world is roasted marshmallows. So they're toasting marshmallows, and he likes them when they're really burnt, that black charred crust on the outside of the marshmallows. And so they're celebrating by having these burnt marshmallows. And his mom gives him gifts. She gives him an electric guitar, she says, so you don't have to play air guitar anymore. And 2 tickets to see AC/DC, his all-time favorite band. So the book opens on a really happy note, and when Noel goes to bed that night, he is just full of joy and burnt marshmallows. But as he's drifting off to sleep, he hears this sound. He hears a thud. And so he gets up to investigate. And when he does investigate, he discovers his mom on the bathroom floor. She's had a fall. And there's this pool of blood underneath her head, and she's not responding. He's calling, Mumsy, 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 Mumsy. And she's obviously not conscious. Well, he panics, of course. He doesn't understand what's happening. He calls emergency services. He can't remember their address. He has to run to a neighbor in their apartment building to get the address, to come back to the phone. He's frantic. He's so scared. He's so sad. Finally, emergency services arrive. They get his mom. They break into the bathroom. They get his mom onto a stretcher, put a blanket over her. They all get into an ambulance, and they rush quickly to the hospital. Well, when they arrive at the hospital, they fly out of the back of the ambulance into the emergency room so fast that the blanket that they covered his mama with falls on the ground. And Noel picks that up and he ties it around his neck, kind of like you kind of see it here in the picture, like a comfort cape, because he's just terrified and sad. And because he has developmental disabilities, he truly cannot process what is happening to his mom. Well, what's happening to his mom is she's had a massive stroke, and the doctors have decided to put her into a medically induced coma to see if she can perhaps make some kind of recovery. Well, Noel can't live alone. It's just Noel and his mama. He doesn't have a daddy, he doesn't have any siblings. And so the decision is made that he will be sent to live in New Kuroda, this village that is inhabited by other people like him who also have developmental disabilities. And so that's the rest of the story. He moves into this group home and starts to acclimate to this life living with people like himself. And so the story is just populated with all of these unique individuals that he encounters when he moves to New Kuroda. I'm going to read a section of the book then, and to set that up, let me just explain to you what's going on. The section here is Noel and one of his group homemates, a young man named Valentine. And Valentine loves games. He loves playing games, and they have game night once a week at their group home. And even though Valentine enjoys playing games, he's not a good loser. And right before the passage I'm going to share, he has lost at game night. Well, Valentine gets so angry when he loses, he breaks this stick. He always carries around this little stick. It's kind of, I guess it's like, that's sort of for Valentine, that's like his comfort cape. It's a stick that he carries in his hand all the time. Well, Valentine gets so angry when he loses the game, he breaks his stick. And so they decide to go out and find him a new stick. And so Noel is they're going to walk out into the woods, he and Valentine, and they're going to hopefully find a new stick. Valentine calls his stick his Toodle, Toodle. And so the title of this section is The Toodle. So Noel holds up a stick and he says, "This one?" And Valentine says, "No, it's too crooked. Come on." So in the next panel, Noel holds up one. "How about this?" Valentine says, "Too thin." Noel's getting frustrated. "This?" "No," says Valentine. "Not good. Completely wrong." And he breaks that one. "This one's wrong. That one's wrong. This one's wrong." Poor Noel. He's trying to help him, and he's not able to find the right Toodle for him. Valentine says, "All this wood here and not a single Toodle. This is a mess." And so Valentine walks away from him, and Noel's trying to catch up to him. But then he hears, "Hello? You there?" And so Noel turns around, and there's this little old lady. There's this little old lady who lives in their village. She's not developmentally delayed, but she can't sleep at night, and so she's up and about at all hours. So here she is walking around near the edge of the woods where they're trying to find a Toodle. And she says, "Help me out, please." And Noel says, "With what?" And she says, "This stupid wheel there. It's given up." She's pushing one of those rollators and it won't roll. So you see here, she's pushing this and she's asking Noel to help her. One of the wheels won't turn. So Noel he looks down and he says, "That's broken." And she goes, "Oh, lovely." And then she asks, "What are you looking for?" And Noel says, "A Toodle." And she says, "What's that supposed to be?" And he replies, "I don't know. The only one who knows is Valentine. I'm just helping because Valentine needs looking after." And then off in the distance, Valentine shouts, "No!" And he comes running toward them and says, "What kind of mess is this?" He's holding something in his hand. "What kind of mess is this? It was lying here just like this, a bird." And he holds up this bird. He says, "Yuck!" And the old lady says, "Oh, a woodpecker, how sad." And then Noel takes the bird and says, "He had a thud. It plopped down from the sky and now it's sleeping." To which Valentine replies, "Sleeping? It's dead. Come on." Trying to see him there with the bird saying, "It's sleeping. He had a thud." And Noel says, "No, it's just in a coma. He'll be flying home soon, like Mumsy." The old lady says, "Mumsy?" And Noel replies, "My mom." And so she asks, "Is your mom in a coma?" And of course, Valentine interrupts this moment and says, "We have to go to dinner now. Supper. It's already 5:55. Quick!" And Valentine takes off running for the group home so that he can be at dinner at 6 o'clock. And so Noel tries to take off after him, except the lady says, "Hello, don't leave me back here all alone." So, of course, Noel would respond to that. He's close to his own mom. He's not going to leave this other lady. And so he walks her back to her place. And she says, "Is your friend always like this?" And Noel says, "Oh, not always. He just likes everything in order." And she says, "In order?" And then she points, "This is where I live." And Noel says, "It's nice here." And she's huffing, walking up the steps. She says, "Yes, but it wasn't always so nice." And then that trails off to the next section. You can see him walking her into her place. And again, this beautiful story is called The THUD, and it's written by the author Mikael. Well, guys, thank you, of course, as always. I appreciate you watching. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next Friday for episode 44. Bye!